is Finnovation. So I'm a really big fan of American Ninja Warrior, and I've always wanted to have a warped wall. So the obvious question is,
could we build a warp wall in our backyard?
yes we can. In this video we'll be showing you how to build a 12-foot warped wall, but you can convert it into a 14-foot one. But for me, we're just going to keep it at the 12-foot for now, so when I grow into it, I can turn it into a 14-foot one. We're going to have all the blueprints and the materials necessary in the description down below. Let's get into it.
Okay, so these are the materials you're going to need. You're going to need some PVC pipe. We've got a PVC pipe and a metal pipe. We're not sure what we're going to use yet. You're going to need some 2x4s. You're going to need some glue on. This is a bendy. You're going to need some plywood. And we've got this old ladder here that you probably won't need, but we're going to use it for the back of our warped wall and how you get down. Now, we're going to put our supply list and our exact measurements right here. Alright, so these are our blueprints. What we have here is we have a piece of plywood that's running like this and another piece that's running like this. So it makes kind of an L shape. And we'll show you more specifics on how you make the curve later. But you have two 2x4s running like this, and then 2 feet of overlap and more running like this. Then
on both sides.
On both sides, yeah. And then you're going to have a board running here and a board running here to connect them. So these are the materials that you're going to need with all of our specifics. So pause the video right now if you need to figure that out. All right, now this is our back. So right here we have our boards running along like this, and this is where our luan would be on top, like right there and right there.
Notice that the one board is tipped sideways. That's where the luan's going to meet so that you can nail both sides to it.
Yeah, because you're going to need to put a nail here, and then for that luan that's going down and another one that's going up. Now, since this side is going to be actually longer than this, it's going to add up to 14 feet tall with the 2 sheets of luan, but since the curve is actually 12 feet tall. So you're going to need to cut your top sheet of luan 6 feet so that it makes that curve correct. And other than that, you're just going to be putting your boards 1 foot apart. Alrighty, so what we're doing right now is we are getting the curve for our warped wall. What you're going to do is you're going to get 2 sheets of plywood that are 4x8, and you're going to lay them in an L shape. So that would make a 12-foot wall from there to there. So now what you're going to do is you're going to get a string that is 10 feet long and put a pen, a pencil, or something like a Sharpie down on it, and you're going to draw your curve. I'll show you the how that actually looks like. I'll show you our blueprints right now. So now that you've seen those blueprints, here's a really good tip to help you figure out what's going to happen. So when you do this, to check that helps you figure out is your pen or pencil should mark up right at that corner and also right at the other corner. All right, so now we're gonna cut this with a jigsaw. We put this on a few sawhorses and I'm gonna get cutting. Be really careful with doing a jigsaw, and I would recommend having a parent do this for you. So I'm gonna do this very careful. Okay? We've got our 2 boards cut. What we're gonna do is lay them on top of the other boards, make sure they're lined up really well. And now you're gonna get a pencil and trace it. And then we're gonna cut it. All right, guys, so another safety tip is to make sure that you're staying right on that line and your fingers are far away and the cord is far away. Because if the cord wraps around and comes to the front and you cut through your cord on accident, maybe even if it's under the board, then that would be really bad. Okay, so now we've cut all of our boards. And it looks like there's just one set of them here, but it's actually doubled. So now what we're gonna do is cut our 2x4s. Okay, so when we're cutting these boards, the 2x4 that we have is 8 feet long. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a speed square. We already measured and found the 4 foot mark, and we already marked that. So now I'm gonna use a speed square to draw a straight line. Speed squares are great because they'll always give us perfect lines, and they'll always give us 90 degrees, so it's not a wrong angle. All right, now we're gonna cut it. All right, so right now we have a 2x4 behind our boards, and what we're doing is we have a we're pre-drilling and we're nailing in some nails so that our boards, our plywood, stick to our boards. And this we think is going to be a lot easier than doing it when it's already up on the post. So we're gonna make ours kind of a little bit mobile. So I'm just gonna put in this now.
There's going to be a lot more nails where that comes from.
Yeah. Okay, so we just stood our one side up and we put it against this post here. We're just using a post. You could honestly use anything to keep it up. You could use a person or a wall, but since we have this post, we're gonna use it. So now what we're doing is we are adding our 2x4s in between like this. So we're gonna be laying them on the ground and nailing them in. Then once the time comes, we're gonna put the other side in like this, nail them into that side, and then we're gonna start going like this, put one there, 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 and so on. So we're gonna nail all these boards in, and we'll check back in after that. Alrighty, so as you guys can see, we have about half of the inner supports done. And we have 7 boards going up. So that is, we measured the boards, they have 1 foot spacing in between them. So now what we're gonna do is put on our first sheet of glue on. But why we have to put on the first sheet and measure out where it is so that we can put a board, all of them have been going this way, we need to put one going this way so the 2 sheets of glue on can meet on one board. Now what we're gonna do is put the glue on and nail it down. And originally, we were gonna have these 2 posts help us support, but these posts are actually really wiggly and not sturdy really at all. So we decided just to leave them out, and eventually we might move these, but for now we're just gonna leave them. But overall, this is starting to get a lot more sturdy. At the beginning, it really felt not sturdy, but what really helps is having the kind of inside supports like this one and that one, and then the little holders for the glue on, those also really help. Okay, so we've just sketched out where we want a Finnovation symbol on here because we figured we're just going to put a Finnovation symbol on it to make it kind of more cool. So we sketched this out and now we're going to paint it.
And then we're going to cover it in a protective coating because we're not sure how Luan will weather outside if we don't hit it with a wood sealer.
Yep, so we're going to do that and let's get into it. Alright, so now that we have our logo on here, we're going to put a clear coat on this so that it doesn't rot or get messed up. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm also going to put a brown stain on the rest of the warped wall because my mom thinks it'll look nicer that way, which it probably will. Let's get into it. Okay, so now that our clear coat has dried, we're going to put on the Luan on our last section. Alright, so now that we have our final piece on here, it actually is starting to look like a warped wall. So right now our stuff is still drying, and while it's drying, we're going to put our PVC pipe on the top. Also, right now, you can probably tell because I'm sticking out through the top, we don't have a roof on here yet, so we can't have a platform to stand on. We also may add some sort of a buzzer in the future.
What are those 4 boards for, Fen?
These 4 boards are for when if we want to expand from 12 feet to 14 feet. So if we ever decide to that this becomes easy for me, we can always make it another 4 feet taller. Alright, so now we're going to cut our pipe. So we've got a 4-inch angle grinder, and we're just going to kind of cut it along where we have the tape, and the tape helps us gauge on to get straight lines.
45-degree angle.
Let's get it. Alright, so this is our completed warp wall, and it looks pretty great. So we finished adding that PVC pipe up top. Now, before this video ends, we wanted to show you a quick overview of what the inside looks like. So we have a few boards in here, like these structural boards, and 2 boards that really helped were those 2 at the top that are sticking out. those really added a lot more sturdiness. Now I can barely move this thing. And we also want to show you what kinds of nails we used. So let's come along to the front and I'll show you what kinds. So when we were putting in our Luan, so like these nails right here, those are 2-inch nails. The ones on the sides, the ones that are just holding in the regular boards that are holding up the Luan, those are 2.5-inch. The really structural ones, like the boards that are up top there, or the this board right here, that would be a 3.5-inch nail, or like that board right there, 3.5-inch nails. So the structural ones are 3.5-inch. The ones that are supporting the Luan, like these little ribs here, those are 2.5-inch, and our Luan is 2.
Well, that sums up this warped wall video. Leave a like down below if you liked it. But I'm really starting to feel like a ninja.
Ninja Finn, that reminds me of a joke.
Oh no.
What do you call 2 ninjas?
I don't know, what?
A pair of sneakers.
Oh boy. Whatever, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye!